Welcome to this lecture. So in this lecture I'm going to code inside the PlayAcitivity.java file. So let's start this lecture. So switch back to the Android Studio and here just simply click on this PlayAcitivity.java file and just create a room at the top of the file, and I'm just simply click on this project tab so that I get a more wider area to work. Then first I'm going to create a variable of private that is of type media player, because for playing the audio we need a media player. The media recorder is used to record the audio and the media player is used to play the audio. I'm going to create a variable mPlayer and hit a semicolon. Then I'm going to create variable of buttons, is button, and the button variable is record 1, comma, record 2, then I need some boolean variables, so I'm going to type here boolean variables. So I'm going to type private boolean is playing 1, hit semicolon. Then I'm going to duplicate it to many times and I'm going to change it to 2, then this one to 3, then this one to 4, this one to 5, this one to 6, and I also need a 1 that is simple boolean playing, and just remove the last one. So these are the variables that I need. Now it's time to initialize all the button variables inside the onCreate that are our view. So I'm going to type record 1 is equal to, we need to typecast it into button so that we in a safe style so that our application doesn't get crashed. Find by id r dot id dot, and the id of the first button is button. Now I'm going to hit a semicolon. Then I'm going to, by using Ctrl plus D, means by using a shortcut Ctrl D, I'm going to duplicate into many times. So I'm going to specify here 1, but there is no button 1. So I'm going to switch back to again. The layout file is activity playing. So I'm going to see the ID. So this is our text, this is our button. So button 2, button 3, button 4, button 5, button 6. So we are missing with button 5, button 6. And we have button 4, we have button 3, button 2, but we don't have button 1. So that gives us an ID error. So I need to specify here button 2. Here I need to specify button 3. Button 3. Then here I need to specify button 4. Then 5. And then here a 6. So button 1 is not specified in the ID. So here I need to specify record 2. Then 3. Here is 4. Here I need to specify 5. And I need to specify 6, not 5. Then I have done the initialization of the button. I am going to specify the default background to our button so that when we run it, so we can see a default background, that is play song shape. So it's a set background. It's not a ser background, it's a set background. That's when we need set background resource r dot drawable dot play song shape. So I'm going to duplicate it to many times. Then I'm going to change it to the variables. That is 2, that is 3, that is 4, that is 5, and that's the last one is 6. So yeah, we have set the default background to all the button variables. Now it's time to initialize the all bool variables to false. So is playing is equal to false. Then into semicolon. Then again is playing 1 is equal to false. Then I'm going to duplicate it too many times. Then I'm going to again change it to the variable's name. 3, 4, 5, and then the last one is 6. Now it's time to write a method to play our audio files. So I'm going to type a first method for playing a first audio. So I'm going to type public, that is this one, public void, that is void, and I'm going to type play 1. And here I'm going to specify a view, that is this one, and again I'm going to specify a view. Now this play1 method I also need to specify this as an event inside our activity file. So I'm going to quickly define the events, that is our button with so here I'm going to specify a event on click, and I'm going to specify play 1. Then instead of button 2, I'm going to specify a on click event, and to specify on click event play 2. Similarly, in button 3, I need to again specify on click, so I'm quickly going to specify it, that is play 3. And this one is for our play 4, so I'm going to specify on click, then play 4. And this one on click, that is play 5. Then there is a last one, that is on click event, not play directly, at a tab play 6, not 5, it's a 6th. So I need to create all these methods inside our playingactivity.java file. So I'm going to use a shortcut process by clicking on this red bulb icon and create a play6 method in a playing activity. I'm going to click it, it will create the method for us. And similarly again I'm going to switch it to play 5. Now the simplest approach I can do, I just simply copy and paste it, so that it will save little time. So this is our play 1, that's a play 2, that's a play 3, and that's a play 4, and this one our play 5. Now simply hit enter. Instead of this we need to do a code for our playing song. So let's start doing the coding of this playing of the audio. So first we need to check for the condition. If it's not is playing, that is playing 1, and when we are using a logical AND operator, and then again is, if it is not is playing, then we want to do the following, that is we want to set the record 1 dot set background resource to r dot drawable dot play song shape pressed. And after that I need to call a start playing method, but right now I have not created a start playing, so I'm going to just simply type the start playing method. Right now I have not created the start playing method, so I'm going to create it. So at the end you can see this method is created, so I'm going to take it into the bottom of the method, bottom of the play6 method. So instead I'm going to pass it here one argument, that is 1. So this argument, so that means this method will accept one argument of integer type. So I'm going to type recording number. So this will be the argument, that is recording number, that our start playing method will be take. Now again continue the code, and after start playing the code we need to set the is playing equals to true, means that our song 1 is playing. Then we also need to set the is playing 1 to equals to true. If it is not playing, means else. Then we check for the else if condition. If it is not playing, because there is a situation when it is not playing, then we want to handle that situation as well. So I'm going to try is playing, and again I'm going to use a logical AND operator. Then again I'm going to type is playing. Then we want to do the following. I'm going to type here a stop playing method, stop I have to make it capital. Then I need to create this method. First I'm going to semicolon. Come on, the red bulb icon. So it's not giving the red bulb icon. I just need to copy it. And here I'm going to give it a name as private void. And I'm going to specify this. So that will remove the error. This is a slope playing method. After that, I need to set the resources of all the buttons to the default resources. So record 1. This is our button 1. Set background resource to r.drawable play song shape. Then I'm going to duplicate it many times. Then here I'm going to change the variable names to 3, then 4, then 5, and then 6. Then we need to set the all boolean variables is playing 1, not is playing 2, false. Then I'm going to duplicate it many times. And here is a second, then 3, then 4, then 5, and then the last one is 6. After that, I need to set the record 1.set background resource file to r.drawable play song shape pressed. Then I need to call the again start playing method. So we'll try start playing and specifying the integer as 1. Then I need to set the is playing 1 to true. Then if it is not a case of both of them, then we need to handle the else part. In which what we have to do, we need to set the record 1 background, that is set background resource to r.drawable play song shape. Then we need to call the stop playing method, and then after we need to set the is playing 1 equals to false. And then after I need to specify the is playing 1 to as well as false. So that marks the completion of code our playing song 1. So similarly, you need to define the code for the play song 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 6. So I'm going to do it quickly. Just you need to make only one change. From 1 to you need to change 2. If you are writing the code for play song 4, then you need to replace all 1s to 4. So I'm going to copy the code and just doing quickly. Then I will be continuing the video so that you don't need to watch the boring stuff, that is a replicated process. So now you can see that I have did all the coding for playing song, that is from play 1 to play 2. That is our play 2, that is our play 3, and this is play 4, that's it play 5, and the last one is play 6. Now it's time to code these start playing and stop playing method. So let's do it. Now here first we need to initialize our mPlayer, that is our mPlayer equals to new media player, and then hit a semicolon. Then I need to use a try catch block because this code may be throw an exception. So instead of try catch, I am going to use a switch case statement, that is switch, and here I need to pass the recording number, and instead of this switch I am going to start a switch block and I am going to specify a case 1. So that will be case 1, and then that will be a mPlayer dot set data source, that is our file name m1 file. So what I have to do, I have to do m file name 1, And that file name we want to insert it by pressing Alt Enter. So it will be inserted at the top. That is there. Now it's giving an error because we have not handled the exception yet. So I'm going to type here catch, and I'm going to catch the exception, that is IO exception. So I'm going to handle the IO exception E, and I'm going to specify the code. So now you can see that the error is gone. So you can here print a log catch statement if you want, log.e. There is a failed, and there is another one. Failed, and here I am going to specify semicolon. Then after that you need to specify a break statement. So similarly you need to copy and paste the code and just simply change the file names. Then here you need to change it to 2, and here you need to change to 2, and here you need to change it to 3, then here you need to change to 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 4, then 5, then you need to change it to 6, and hit here Alt plus Enter to add the package of these files. So you can see that this is all about the coding for start playing method. Now it's time to code the stop playing method as well. So instead of this stop playing method, first we need to release the player by calling a release play method. Then after we need to player, then we need to null. Then it's better to actually inside of the onPause method we also need to do the same code. So I'm going to override a method called onPause. There's a method of activity lifecycle. Inside of the onPause, just simply check for the condition if mPlayer, if media player object means mPlayer is not equal to null. Then if it is not null, then the condition will be true. So we need to release the mPlayer by calling a release method, and also we need to set the mPlayer to null, means initialize it to null. And also we need to add the same code. I'm going to override the onStop method as well. onStop. Inside of this I'm going to copy the same code to release the media player and then initialize it to null. It's time to see the code in action. But before that we need to make some changes in our manifest file. So open your manifest file, and here you can see that this is our splash activity, this is our main activity, and we need to also make this activity to run in landscape mode by default. So we need to copy this code, and then inside of this activity we need to paste it. So now we are pretty much ready to run our application. So I'm going to again click on playing activity. Now it's time to run the application, but before running the application I need to add more code because I have not started the media player. So I'm going to type mplayer dot prepare, that is this one, and again I need to type mplayer dot, that is start. So now we are pretty much ready to run our application. So I'm going to run this application on my physical device. So I'm selecting my physical device. So you can see that my application is up and running. So first I'm going to test the piano keys. It's working fine. Then I'm now going to click on this one record button. So I'm going to record a song. So you can see that song 5 is saved. Now I'm going to click on this play button, and I'm going to click on this song 5. Then you can see that when I click on song 5, it's actually playing, but it actually changed the drawable of play song 1. So that's a bug that we need to fix. So this is a bug where we have not actually changing the drawable resources. So I need to find that bug. So that the bug is where actually when I press this song 5, then we need to change the background to play song shape. But ultimately it changed the background of. So here I need to change it to 5. This is our bug. Here I need to change to 5 because we have copy and pasted the code. That's why this bug is here. So this is for this. This is right. Here is a recording button 6. This is record button 6. This is record button 6. Then I need to check for the record button 5 is good. Check. Here is a check. Then record button 4 is actually here is correct. Then here I need to again specify record button 4 because there is a record button 1 is there. And also there is a record button 3, record button 3. Then there is I need to specify the record 3. Then there is a record 2 button. There's a record. Now everything is fine. Now again I'm going to run the application on a physical device. So here is our application is up and running. So I'm going to click on this play button. And I'm just going to click on this play song 1. So you can see that play song 1 is playing. I'm going to click on back and I'm going to record the audio again. So you can hear the audio of our application. Now our application is fully created and it has all the functionality. Left navigation button, right navigation button, it has a recording functionality as well as a playing song functionality as well. Now I'm going to play the 6th song, that is, you can hear this audio of the sound as well. So now it's time to run the application on my virtual emulator as well. So I'm going to select my virtual emulator. So here you can see that application is up and running. So I'm going to click on this record button and I'm going to just randomly typing some note and I'm just click on this finish button and again I'm going to click on this play button and song 3 is saved, so I'm going to click on this. So you can see that application is, but you can't hear the audio of virtual emulator. This is because that's why I'm running this application simultaneously on my physical device as well. So that's all about this lecture. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next lecture. Thank you.